This is Greg Hawk. I've got another treasure story for you. Sort of a treasure story. It's about finding lost gold mines and whatever. But back in 2006, August edition of Arizona Highways, there's an article about the Bully Bueno Mine. And one of my subscribers contacted me and read that article and contacted the writer of the article to find out where he got his information. And the writer told him, well, it come from the grandson of a fellow named Vic Roy, and he lived in Scottsdale. So this fellow, his name is Gary Pedersen, who contacted me, went and met with this grandson of Vic Roy, and he was about 80 years old, and that Gary told me, and told him about the mine, where it was, and one time he had claims on it. So Gary went ahead and went out there to locate it and found a bunch of brush down in a wash and cleared it off and found an opening to a mine. So he went ahead and he filed a claim on it. And later on he went back and he went inside of it, took a metal detector, really didn't find anything. I think he sort of gave up on it after that. But he told me the story. I thought, well, that'd be interesting to go out there and go back in that old mine and take Jim, my friend the geologist, with me and see if there was any values out there. So off we went to go out there, all right? So I'll show you a little bit. We went out of Mayer, Arizona, off Highway 69, and went out. There's a gravel road once you leave Mayer, and come over to the Senator Highway. It came down the Senator Highway to have forked off. I'll give you a close-up here in a minute. And the road goes out here, and we had to park, and it goes up to an area called Battle Flat Trick Tank. But this area at Battle Flat was named that because in 1864 there were 5 prospectors out there and got attacked by Indians. And they fought all day, and all 5 of them got wounded. A couple of horses got killed. The Indians run them out of their camp. The Indians actually ate a couple of horses. They were hungry. 2 of the miners made it back to Walnut Grove, got some help come out the next day, and rescued the other 3. The Indians by that time had left. All 5 of them lived, except one of them died about 9 days later. And that's why it's called Battle Flat, all right? So around that time also, Vic Roy and 2 other prospectors were out there, and they come across some color in some of the quartz, and they pooled their money, and Vic Roy went back to Philadelphia, knew some people back there, and prior to going there, he went to the Army general in charge of the area and said, hey, we've got a lot of problems out here. We want to bring a mill into this area, the first one into the territory. Will you provide us protection? Well, the general, oh yeah, not a problem. We've got this under control, and even give him a letter so he could show investors that the Army was behind him. Okay, so he went to Philadelphia, met with some investors, formed the Walnut Grove Mining Company, bought a bunch of equipment, got a 20 stamp mill, and equipment being shipped out on rail to somewhere in Kansas, had wagons, like 15 wagons, 35 men, all this stuff coming west to get up to where the Bully Bueno Mine was going to be. It was pretty close to what they call Turkey Creek down in this area. This is where they're going to set it up. Well, they got attacked multiple times before they ever got there. And as time went on, they got attacked like 12 times between like 1865 and 1872. And even went back for more money to get more horses, more mules. And the Indians ended up always taking the mules and the horses and wagons and attack them and killed several men each time. But in 1872, I think the last big attack was like 200 Indians attacked, and they had like 40 to 70 miners. Went to Prescott, hurried them, got out of there. The time they got back, the mill's all set up and ready to run. They'd burnt the mill completely to the ground and the buildings and everything else. By this time, the mining company owed quite a bit of money, so it was never reopened. It never, from then on, it was, it never produced anything. And I don't think, there's a lot of mines along that area up there that were small. They never made much of anything. They had a little quartz vein, had a little gold showing on the surface, but never anything deep. They got talked into this deal because someone had been up there running a rasa. They were supposedly getting $100 a ton out of the ore they found on top. Well, $100 a ton was probably 5 ounces back then, $20 an ounce for gold. So they thought, wow, that was really rich gold. And actually, they probably maybe got $80 a ton at best. And some said, well, didn't even get that. They got $8 a ton, which made more sense, which is very little, probably a lot less than ½ ounce to a ton at best. And anyway, we decided, hey, we'll go out there. We want to look at this. We studied a little bit. The tunnel going back in was supposed to be like 200 feet with a vertical shaft and an inclined shaft in it. And we thought it'd be pretty interesting. Go out there, have a look, and see for ourselves if there's any values in those mine out there. So this is where we're going today, and I'll show you a little bit here how we're going to route out there. Then we'll head on out. Okay. This is a close-up of the map up here. You see, we come in from Mare all the way around till we got to the Senator Highway. It runs between Prescott and Crown King. It's not a highway, it's just a dirt track at best. And we followed it down till it split off down here. This is Turkey Creek. It splits off and comes back over here. That X right there is where we had to park because there's a rocks in front of this road. You can't get up there. And this is called the Battle Flat Trick Tank. It's a water collection place that the ranchers put up there to collect water for their cattle. Like you see down here is Battle Flat. Okay, but we're going back around here. We'll have to walk and go to this lower road to get back to where the mine is. And we'll head out there right now. Okay. Here's a Google Earth shot of the area. Shows where the trailhead is, the mine, and the trick tank. You see the trail going in. You need to go to the lower one to get around to the mine, not the one going up to the trick tank. And here's the coordinates to the trailhead and the mine entrance so you can know exactly where we're at. Okay, this is the trailhead going back to the mine. There's a rock going across the road there so you can't drive back. And the trail goes around the side of the hill and it wides off, one going to the trick tank and one going around to the mine. I'm just panning around here a little bit. As you see, it's overgrown. Can't really see whether there are any buildings that ever been here. So we're going to walk on back here and get on back to the mine and have a look, see if we can find it. As we come around the hill, you can see the mine opening. It's right below that bench above it, and we'll work our way around there in just a minute. Have a look. Okay, we just worked our way around this trail, the one below the trick tank. There's a tank up above, and right down below it, there's a little trail that comes around to a bench right above the mine. And here's the opening to the mine. And you see it's pretty narrow to get in there. So we're going to see what we can do. Okay, we're at the entry to the Bully Bueno Mine. And here's Jim, our geologist here. He's going to say a few words about what he sees in the rock. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, according to the reports, the drift here goes back about 200 feet, and there should be 2 shafts, one near the entrance and one near the end of the drift. What they were after is the quartz vein, one of the stringers, many of which are in the countryside, in this host rock, which is a Paleoproterozoic siltstone. And this is fault controlled. In the area, we found galena, copper, oxides, and plenty of indication that there's mineralization here.
Okay, we're looking down inside the mine now, getting ready to go down in there. Have a look around. Oh yeah, Jim got down there first and took a picture of this little buzzworm, he calls him, little rattlesnake. So we gave him a few minutes to get back in the rocks and get out of our way before we went on down in there. Okay, and then we turned and went back down the mine.
Hey, Cricket.
Okay, come back, oh, maybe 100 feet. There's some bats in here. And this is the end of the shaft, isn't it? Our tunnel. I didn't go in very far. There we go, here's a bat hanging up there. You see where they had some drill holes up there and they never blasted anymore. So this is the end of it, so it didn't go back that far.
And there's a mouse back in this one.
Well, that's our big adventure today to Bully Bueno. What do you think? Jim, think there's any gold in that?
No, I don't think you can make a living on this vein.
Just not enough, is it?
Yeah, little stringers here and there, but a lot of work for minimal return.
And a couple more little bats up on the ceiling. It's a good place for them. We couldn't have been more than 60 or 70 feet back inside here. We're going to head out and look at some rocks, break them apart, and see what kind of mineralization we have. A couple bats here on the ceiling. Okay, Jim, what do we find here? We got azurite, malachite, we've got
Galena,
manganese,
pyrolusite, limonite, lots of nice quartz breccia, which is favorable depositional rock for mineralization.
That's
but not a lot of it.
After going out there and going back in that little 60-foot drift, we come out and we came to the decision that that's not the Bully Bueno mine, the main one anyway. I mean, it was supposed to go back in 200 feet with a vertical shaft and some other stuff. So I really doubt that's it. So stay tuned. We're going to go back out there and see if we can't find it. Anyway, this is a good little introduction to that area. Just stay tuned and we'll be back and see if we can't find it again. Thank you. If you get a chance, go to our website, www.desertroamerpress.com. Check out our treasure blog and videos, and maybe grab a copy of our book. Thank you.